Hi there. It is the Fit Chick Accountability Club with Coach Roz Harris. It is Monday's class also. And this Monday's class is focused on fitness. Remember, we get together every Monday for a live classroom conversation, educational opportunity, all that good stuff. When there's time, we check in on our goals and do some celebrations. Each week, I'm alternating probably between fitness, nutrition, and a well-being topic. We've had great response from our how to pray class. People have loved the what to do with vegetables differently class, all this good stuff. So tune in every Monday for a Monday's class, not office hours, Monday's class. If you cannot come to class, don't you worry. What do? I record every class. And then I send you the link to the recording. So we are jumping into, can you hear that? You know what that is? Those are my abs. ABS. No, not anti-lock brake system. No, not that. Your abs. I want to walk through how our abs are structured. I want to walk through how we might want to begin to appreciate our abs and how it works with the bigger core. And then I want to walk through a couple exercises that you want to begin to reach out for and get to these milestones to work the different parts of your core. So what is the abdominals, the abdominal wall? There are 4 parts to your abdominals. External obliques, the outer layer of the abs on either side. They run kind of diagonally downward. So it's those obliques. Anybody, I won't tell you this exercise. Well, no, if anybody does the teapot, they're like, oh, Roz, this isn't hard. I'm like, okay, that's fine, no problem. Then they come in the next day, oh, Roz, my side hurts because they did the teapot, and the teapot's working the external obliques. I'll come back to that. The next set of abs, they call them the internal obliques. They also run diagonal and underneath your external ones, but they kind of feel a little more more centered. You could almost think like your upper abs in that kind of area. So external obliques are way off to the side. You pinch that side. Your internals come in a bit more. And then the third part of your abdominal wall is the rectus abdominis. Fancy words. It is the sheet of abs. It's two pairs of sheets that run down from the top of the ribs down to your pelvic area. It helps you with your flexing forward. So the obliques help you twist side and bend over sideways. This rectus abdominis has you forward, flexing, be able to flex forward, and the importance of that. This is where folks and men talk about their 6-pack. There's actually 10 pieces, 5 on each side for these abs, the rectus abdominis, from the rib cage. 5 go down to the pelvic area, then 5 on the other side. We just don't see the lower 2 chunks on either side, so lower 4. So 10 minus 4 is 6. That's where the 6-pack word comes in. The fourth, and I'm happy with a 2-pack. I mean, really, come on. Just whatever. The last part of your abdominal wall is your transverse abdominis. I love the transverse abdominis because it means you can plank. So your transverse abdominal wall, it's the sheet from the top to the bottom. I just look at it transverses the abdominis, the abdominal cavity. So that sheet all along from top to bottom. And so all 4 of these abs put together create your abdominal wall, all your abs. I said I was going to tell you how the abs fit into your whole core. So you'll hear things like a core workout or an ab workout for us and for how we think about it in Fit Chicks. And you are a Fit Chick, so you're part of the Fit Chick Nation. We know that a strong core is as important, more important than anything else. So it's not just about the abs, it's about the core. So why is that? We look at the core as the entire trunk. And right now my hands are going all around my abdominal wall, to my sides, all the way around to my lower back and my butt. So that is the trunk. So your trunk is made up a lot more than just the front of your body and your abdominal wall on the sides. Your trunk is also comprised of, I'm going to go to your butt, your side butt. Those are the gluteus minimus. It's the side muscle. This keeps our hips strong and being able to run and walk. The muscles along the side of our body, they can be almost as weak as the muscles along the back. We can tend to use them less. But this the gluteus minimus is the side butt. And so a lot of workouts don't even touch the gluteus minimus, but we do that a lot with curtsy lunges and other stuff that people go, it's not hard, Roz. That's not hard. And then they're crying the next day. So gluteus minimus. The next one is your back of your butt, that big muscle back there. And for some folks, a little bit bigger than others, it's your gluteus maximus. And you probably have heard that word before, right? Gluteus maximus. So I had a client, she's actually a visitor in the studio. Her name is Terry, and she was doing calf raises. And we're always telling clients, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your glutes. Because glutes can get underdeveloped pretty quickly, because what do we do on our glutes a lot? We sit on them. So they don't get worked as much as we may think they do. And that big muscle back there, there's so many things attached to that gluteus maximus. We need to keep it activated. And so glute activation is critical for your posture, for your leg strength, for just being able to do your living. And so that gluteus maximus is a huge muscle. A lot of things are attached to big muscles in the body. We need to be sure those bigger muscles stay fit, because the small things attached to them begin to fade off and break down if we don't. So gluteus maximus is so important. So we're always saying, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your glutes. This is the benefit of having a trainer. You can do a calf raise. That's what Terry was doing. And I was just kind of down the hallway. I was like, squeeze your glutes. Because I could tell nothing was firing back there. Because she was just going up on her calf, but you could see what we're looking for, the clothes to move. And so if your clothes are not moving because you're not squeezing your shoulder blades together, or you're not squeezing your glutes, I can tell from a distance. So I said, squeeze your glutes. You squeezing your glutes down there? As she went up on these calf raises that were on dumbbells, so dumbbell calf raises. And she goes, it's always flat, Roz. I was like, Terry. I'm laughing out loud, like, it was a little flat. I'm like, I don't care how flat it is, squeeze your glutes. I see nothing moving back there. And so some people have gluteus maximus that are a little bit smaller. Some have a little bit bigger. We all can fire them, though. So you want to be firing the glutes when you do workouts. So that's your gluteus maximus. And then the last thing, when we call the trunk, is the lower back. And the lower back, you don't think you're feeling muscles back there. It's just like skin and your spine. But we do a lot of work on our lower back strength. You get this done with Supermans and swimmers and dolphins and airplanes, that thing. You lay on your belly and lift stuff up. But when we have our swing, we use kettlebells in the studio, and we'll do it for 2 weeks, every 2 months, 3 months, because it is so critical. When you do a lower body kettlebell exercises, you're totally working your lower back. It also comes when you do deadlifts. So, but the issue is, why I hesitate to even mention these, is that those exercises for the lower back, they are the ones that can take you out if you don't do them properly. But so people are so leery of doing them properly, they don't do them. Or when they are in the studio with us, they're doing them. I'm like, listen, I said to her, listen to me first and watch me first. Don't move. And what do? They start following me. I'm like, didn't I just say don't move? Don't move. Because all they think I'm doing is bending down, standing up, bending down, standing up. And that's not what's happening with the deadlift, for example, or even a swing. There's a lot that needs to happen to brace that lower back, to activate the big gluteus maximus, which is attached to those lower back muscles, that the lower back muscle attached to keep everything braced, bring in those lower abdominal walls, to then protect the lower back so it can be exercised properly. That's a lot of motion going on. And so those kind of things need to be with a trainer. However, if you're in a gym, there's going to be a couple machines. And this is when machines can work for you, because the way a machine is designed, generally it's meant to perfect the form. It's trying to say you can't do this any other way but this way. Now, mind you, there are workarounds and hacks, but we still do them wrong. Don't even talking about a lat pull down bar right now, but it can happen. The other challenge, because I know the folks in our accountability club, these machines are made for men, and our accountability club in Fit Chicks Nation is women. And these machines aren't built for girls. Our average height is 5'3", 5'4". These machines are built for an average height men 5'9". And so they're heavier than they need to be. The lowest weight on some of these things is not low enough to train a woman. And so there's a lot of downfalls to machines, unfortunately, because they're not built for girls. However, there are a couple machines there's an apparatus, I'm not even call it a machine, there's an apparatus in a gym that mimics the Supermans that we do in the studio. So a Superman, and I'm going to walk backwards to these exercises now, because now I'm going to change to the exercise. So that is why the core is important. The core is not just your abdominal wall, it's the entire trunk. Work all the parts of your trunk so that you stay strong, have great posture, and you can pick yourself up, which is always my goal for everyone. Be able to pick yourself up when you need to. So core strength. Having a good core also prevents back issues. And the idea that I actually know everybody in the accountability club and who's been in the accountability club, and we just be praising God, we do not have back pain and back issues. Because it's hard to work the muscles that help keep a strong back when you've already had degeneration in those areas. So thank God we don't have back pain and back issues. Now we talk about the exercises you can do. So I'm switching gears here. And if you have a question about these exercises because you couldn't find them on a YouTube video or which they're all there, then just put a question in there and I will answer the question on Saturday with a picture or something that's very, very specific. But I want to actually just answer questions that you need versus giving information that you don't need. So for the lower back, you want to be on your belly. And this apparatus in the gym, you stand up in it, but you get to lean over it and you rise up. So your legs are behind this big plate, and then you bend over the bar in front when your legs are steady and you raise up. What we do in the studio is called a Superman. The Superman is the basic exercise. You're on your stomach on a mat and you raise up your legs, you raise up your arms. So stage one is just raising up the arms or the legs at the same time. The next stage is do it at the same time. So raise up your arms and your legs at the same time. Otherwise, you have to do your legs and your arms separately. We go from there by doing Dolphins, which your arms are down by your side and you raise up your upper body and you raise up your lower body, which is your legs coming off. The airplane is the arms out to the side. It gets a little bit of a delt squeeze. There's swimmers where you're on your belly still and the opposite hand and leg go up in the air and then they go down, then you go up. There are ways of making this more aggressive or progressive. You can progress the exercise or digress the exercise. The key is not to strain. And so some people try to go like, how far can I bend my back backwards? I'm like, what are you doing? Stop that. Your back's not meant to be doing that far back, so it's not about straining. It's about contraction. Contract the glutes, pull in your abdominal wall, lift up. Contract the glutes, pull in your abdominal wall, lift up. So you can just lift up. Now, if you want to make it more challenging, you don't go all the way back down. You stay lifted and you lift up and halfway down. Lift up, halfway down. That works the back of the body. The back of your back there. Your glutes, that's when you're doing a lunge or a squat. Sitting down and standing up is working the glutes. If when you stand up, you fire your glutes. Squeeze your glutes when you come up. So you squat down, press into the heels of your shoes, come up and squeeze your glutes. Glute activation. But just the sit down, stand up motion gets the glutes. If you want to take another level, you're squeezing your glutes while you're doing this. So lunges and squats work the glutes. We do a lot of lunges and squats. And anything, I can't think of a leg exercise that doesn't work the glutes if you're standing kind of thing. So a lot of that. The gluteus minimus, the side glute, that works with curtsy lunges. So if the curtsy lunge is a challenging move, so that's when you do side leg lifts. So a side leg lift, you're laying down on a mat. You could also be standing with bands around your ankles, so the circular bands that loop around both ankles. You're standing tall and you're lifting your leg out to the side. And so that works when you begin to squeeze that glute. Squeeze your glutes, then lift. Squeeze your glutes, then lift. If you're not squeezing the glutes and then lifting, you're letting momentum do the work, and momentum is not muscle. Keep that in mind. Momentum is not muscle. And so you want to activate the muscle. So squeeze your glutes. It'll begin to squeeze the gluteus minimus and then lift the leg to the side. If standing and doing leg raises is difficult, you lay down on the mat on one side and lift the leg up. You can still keep a rubber band or a band around your ankles to add some extra resistance. You don't have to, though, if that's too much. So you have kind of some progression and digression of those moves. And you do it on both sides. That's the gluteus minimus. The transverse abdominal wall, that sheet of muscle all the way down, that's a plank. And that is the safest thing to do, is a plank. There are some pike moves that are out there, but we're going to just hit the plank. So planking is that transverse abdominal wall. You can do a standing plank against the wall. You can do a half plank against a bench. You can get on the mat and do a plank, plank, plank. You can modify planks up and down. On knees, not on knees, toes in the air, not toes in the air, crazy planks, plank, 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 plank. When you can plank, hold your body weight up on your elbows and on your toes for 30 seconds, you can get up from the floor and a lot more. You also can do a straight arm plank. They're not as core building unless you're doing something different with your body, like moving hips and moving legs and twisting around kind of thing. So plank, transverse abdominal wall. I talked about, now we're going to go back and do the rectus abdominis, which are kind of the six-pack piece. That's your crunch. You do the crunches, your crunch or a sit-up. There's so many variations of those, but that works out of rectus abdominis. Internal obliques and external obliques. So obliques. These muscles are running diagonal across the body. So to work them, we generally are doing some type of twist. You need to be very mindful of twisting at the core so that you do it safely. Generally, that means that your legs are secure, planted. So if I'm doing a teapot, I have a kettlebell in one hand or a big dumbbell, a heavy one. The legs are together like a trunk and they're planted into their feet. And then I have one hand up to my ear and the other hand has this big weight in it. And I'm tipping over, not lifting up my elbows, just tipping over. Teapot. And so when you work the oblique muscles, because you want to keep the legs and your feet planted so that the core is what's twisting, it keeps it safe and it actually works the core. So I'll have some clients sitting on what we call a Bosu ball, or even if they're on the ground doing a Russian twist. So a Russian twist, you bend your knees, you lean back, and you take a ball or nothing or something, and you begin to twist to one side. But when I have them do it on the Bosu ball, what they start doing is start moving their hips out the way. I'm like, okay, you're not moving your core, you're moving your hips. So when it comes to working the oblique muscles, these side muscles, you need to make sure the legs are planted and you're moving the trunk, you're moving your core to get the workout to happen. So there's just some keys to that. So that's some exercises for this. That's why they are important, and how they benefit your life. They benefit your life when you work your core by being able to pick yourself up, great posture, prevent back pain, keep your height. It supports your neck. I mean, just having a good core supports the weight of your upper body. It helps you with your movement and your balance. This is when you might trip, but your core is what gets activated and have you not fall. And so working the core becomes very important. It's because these muscles, the way they're designed, they can be worked every day, where other muscles may need to take a rest, depending on how hard you're working them. You can work your core every day. And so there's a plank challenge. Because we like the plank because there's so many things you can do with a plank, and you actually can work a lot of the muscles depending on how. There's actually side planks and regular planks, all these kind of planks. So we're going to be talking about a plank challenge because right now we're working through our our miles challenge. And don't be surprised if we see a plank challenge coming in our future, and an ab workout, an ab challenge where can we do 5,000 abs in a month kind of thing. So there's an ab challenge coming. There's a lot that are out there. So that is abs and a fitness lesson for you. If you have any questions about this, let me know. Be sure you're in your spreadsheet in the tracker and tracking your weekday goal and your 1 weekend goal. If you are finding setting a weekday goal or weekend goal, like, I'm forgetting to do it, stop forgetting to do it and go do it and keep the habit going. It's amazing what will happen if you keep writing it down to create some accountability, inspection, encouragement around what you're trying to get accomplished. So get something down there for your weekday goal and your weekend goal and send in your questions for the week. We'll have office hours on Saturday, the 19th. I'll let you know when the time it is. We're going to have the office hours, so look out for your email or a text from me. Have a great rest of the week. Happy Fit Chick Nation, and I will talk to you soon.